Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today we are discussing a 1987 film soundtrack. It was released July 1987, not on CD. It got released on CD in October 1990 for some strange reason. I don't know why. And it's from a cult movie from the 80s. It's the Lost Boys soundtrack. There we are. See, well, Susan's got the DVD, I've got the CD there, and Craig's wearing the T-shirt, of course. Somebody had to wear the T-shirt, and Ethan's just turned up for a laugh. So today we're just going to go through the tracks and discuss the song and stuff like that. So, without further ado, then we'll just go for track one, then, shall we? Let's do it. Is In Excess and Jimmy Barnes with Good Times. So we'll have an open floor this time. We'll just have an open floor and we'll discuss the song all together. So who wants to go first? Good Times, In Excess, Jimmy Barnes. Anybody?
I'll go.
Go on.
Go on then, I'll start. Yeah, this is one of those soundtracks where I never get tired of. Absolutely love the film. If I don't know what number I'd put it at, but it's one of my top 5 favorite vampire films. This is a proper vampire film. Kiefer Sutherland is the villain, perfect. I mean, this is true vampire stuff before they start glittering like Tinkerbell as an open target for every vampire hunter to see. But anyway, yeah, no. As you know, I love 80s music. This is just 80s magic to me. So it opens up with a pretty awesome fast tune, one that you just really tap your shoes to. And I was dancing in the kitchen to this, and I just never get tired of it. It's just it's a very good cover by the Easy Beats.
Yeah, but tapping, you're stomping your feet to this one. I do anyway.
I didn't want to wake everybody else up. It is. It's a real good, fast, beaten tune, and it's a very good cover by the Easy Beats, I believe.
I think it is, yeah.
From like 1968. Yes, you're correct.
Yes, it's
music. But yeah, it's a very, very perfect opening tune for the movie. And again, it's one of these things where what I love about this soundtrack is a lot of the songs, the title of the songs, match the tone and style of the movie. So it matches the whole good time, like Laying Down the Law, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, People Are Strange, the whole vampire vibe. And this one opens up like the fact that they're teenagers, aren't they? They're like a teenage gang. Oh, come on. It's the 80s, good times. Let's do whatever we want. So it opens up like a perfect movie soundtrack about teenage psycho vampires.
I mean, Jimmy Barnes was a former singer of Australian band called Cold Chisel. I've never heard of them, but apparently they're quite good in their native country. The song Good Times reached number 2 in Australia in 1987. Mm-hmm. It was never released as a single in the UK until 1991. I don't know what's going on.
They always bring them out later, don't they?
Same deal in the United States. It was released later as part of their one of their albums.
All right.
Okay.
In addition to the soundtrack, of course.
Yeah. So, anybody else for Good Times?
Fantastic.
Craig?
So fun.
Hello, Craig.
It was produced by Mark Opitz, and then it was reproduced by Bob Clearmountain.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it got off. It was released, and then it didn't get cult till the 90s.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, unless there was some sort of contract issues. I don't. But there's nothing stated.
Yeah, it could be legal copyright battles or something like that. It could be.
Mm.
But it was such a good album where it reflected the movie so well.
mhm.
Like it's such a cool movie, and it has got the best soundtrack to go with it. It's not like one or the other, or oh, great movie, but oh, shit album, I won't buy that, you know. And it's really slick.
So, do you know, I don't think
I,
we
I agree. I totally,
This is-
totally agree on
You
that.
can see how cool it is if you look at Susan's background. That's how good it was.
Totally,
This,
totally agree, 100%.
this song was released in the United States, and it was Barnes's only it was his only substantial hit in his whole career in the United States. That sucks, but it's true.
Same in the UK, yeah. Same in the UK. Yeah, it's a brilliant. It's to say, it's a great song to open the album with, because it just gets your attention straight away.
Even the opening of the film is the Santa Carla backdrop, but then you've got the fun fair, and then it's the kids. Not even the young kids. I know it was the Vampire Gang, but they were at the fair, and it just sets the tone really well. And then you know,
Yeah.
a lot of the film was centered around the fairground. So then you had in other songs, is it I Still Believe, where he's on the saxophone, not the saxophone, but yeah, it's a
Yeah.
saxophone.
Yeah.
That
It is.
Bodybuilder, even he did a stint in the movie, and it goes back and forth. So
And Santa Carla, the city that it's ostensibly set in, doesn't exist. It was filmed in Santa Cruz, California,
oh,
but it's
my sister went there last year, and she was confused. She was looking for the place from the film, and then she realized, so she actually was in there. She was there.
yeah,
Wow.
boom, shalaka.
Is it still the murder capital of the world?
No, that's
London.
the fictitious
London.
city.
It's London.
The murder capital of the world is London, my friend.
I better lock my doors.
Let's tell everything, I suppose.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what the murder capital of the world is.
Right. So then you've got we've got Lost in the Shadows by Lou Gramm, the lead singer. Foreigner. Yeah. So guys, what do you think to Lost in the Shadows? Brackets, the Lost Boys.
Awesome song. Yeah. No. Yeah, the whole soundtrack is a bloody masterpiece, and it's awesome. Every song is awesome, but there's quite a few songs where I just instantly think of the Lost Boys, and they always stand out.
Yeah.
So this one, you just do as soon as it comes on. If you know the Lost Boys, you instantly picture Kiefer Sutherland or Corey Feldman, or like the fight in the mansion or the cave, and you just instantly picture everything. So this is one of those songs where it just makes you go, vampires, the Lost Boys. And yeah, Lou Gramm singing in this is brilliant. I love him as in Foreigner. He's got one of those
brilliant voice.
He's got one of them iconic voices, don't he? But yeah, no, it's a brilliant, and 6 minutes long. I love long songs where they're like 6 minutes and stuff. But yeah, no, this one's a really good sort of secondary theme, isn't it? Since it's Lost in Shadows, Lost Boys. Obviously, we're going to talk about the real theme of the song later, but this one's sort of like a secondary theme, isn't it?
Yeah,
it definitely is. And the thing that's really interesting about this song is that it is so vampire. Like the whole thing it screams vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, say hello to the night. I mean, you're basically leaving the daytime, and that's fun.
Yeah, and that's what Craig and myself point out. Each track mirrors the movie just perfectly.
Even
you couldn't make a more perfect soundtrack, and this obviously fits with the Lost Boys, that they have left daylight and they're just lost in the shadows, and they want to be in the shadows and rule the night. It's a great 80s dark tune. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Even the music video they're on the motorbikes in the music video, so it's reflecting what is in the film as well. When they're
Yeah,
on the beach, like at night time.
cracking music video. I love brilliantly well.
When music videos were good.
Yes, yeah.
And it's probably
I agree. When they were great and creative.
And in 1987, you probably could go on the beach with a load of motorbikes at night time.
Yeah, before they
now-
ended up introducing laws and all this.
Now
Get
we're
out,
in a
get
police
out.
state. Yeah.
Anything
It
else?
would have been intimidating though if I was there and that happened though.
Mm.
If there was a biker gang going around at night, a vampire biking gang.
No.
Imagine that. You imagine that you'd be on a beach in America. They do that. Now you're like, oh, it's just like the last place. What are you doing on our beach? Oh, all right, mate. All right. All right, son.
That's a line from the second one, The Thirst.
Yeah, the sequels.
Just in case you're wondering, or
Has anyone seen Tale of Two Corys yet?
no, but Corey Feldman was just at Boston Comic Con, so that was brilliant.
They were. This is the one film where I think they were partying so hard that they nearly got sacked from this film. And
Was it? I think it was
the
actually.
director, yeah, he gave him a second chance at the last minute.
Yeah, you've just run a few bat in the belfries here. I think this was it where they did
And I
get
think
wasted.
the shining light for me was this is probably one of the films that they worked on where there wasn't an abusive director or producer on the set. So otherwise I would have had to have started thinking about the film in a different way and not be able to watch it properly.
Yeah.
But I was like, thank God.
It was just easy going like, come on, let's just get pissed.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I don't want to fire you, but just take it easy. All right, I'll give you a chance. All right.
Have we done how I say on the Lost in the Shadows or anything else said about that track?
Lee, have you said something? If you want to chime in,
I just like you to say I agree with what Ethan said. It's a secondary theme because everybody you hear the soundtrack, everybody goes to that other song, but then you go to this song. But for me, it's Lou Gramm. His vocals on this is just out of this world. I mean, the guy sang "I Want to Know What Love Is." He's up there with one of the best vocalists ever. I just love the track. But and then we move on to a brilliant track, another a cover of Elton John song, "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," with another great vocalist, Mr. Roger Daltrey. Anybody want to start on that one? Go.
Well, it's very, very British for a very, very American movie. I mean, it is so British for it's like iconically British for a very American movie. Which is brilliant to me.
Because everybody loves the British. Well,
Well, yeah, no. I said to Lee earlier because he caught me while I was listening to it, and I just said this one's brilliant. What a great cover! It's just so. It's again done perfectly to fit the movie. It has a really haunting sort of. You can imagine playing this on a sunset.
Yeah.
On a cliff by the beach, sunset. The lights are coming off of the fairground. This is just a great, beautiful,
very atmospheric.
Yeah, it's really atmospheric. You can imagine like I said, sun going down, blah blah blah, and a little bat comes by or something like that. That's just what I imagine. I like to use my imagination when I listen to tunes to fit with the story. But yeah, great.
It always helps to have imagination when you're doing these sort of casts.
Oh yeah.
And the cool thing to imagine is that wasn't it Roger Daltrey and Elton John in The Pinball Wizard?
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, Elton John played the Pinball Wizard with a big boot.
Damn
Yeah.
straight.
But yeah, no, out of
That look good.
I mean, I love the cover that's done by, I think it was a few years later, George Michael and Elton John. I mean, that's iconic, but this one I would put on par with the two of them. If I had two covers of the song, I just love both of them on the same level because both like are different sounds. But yeah, this one's great. And Roger Daltrey's singing, vocalists in this is brilliant. It is bang on point. And it is bang on point, bang, like a stick.
This is a Geeks Assembled technical term. Bang on point.
Yeah, but it is yeah, great cover, brilliant track.
Craig, you wanted to say on this one?
For this song, I like how the music starts, where it's like he's on the keyboard, or there's like flashes of sunlight. You can imagine sunlight coming out of the darkness, sort of thing. The way it builds up, and then it goes in, and then it goes back out again at the end. It's just it's a beautiful piece of music.
That to me states a good piece of music when you can actually imagine that sort of happening.
Mm-hmm.
Plays with your imagination. Anything else on that one, or should we move on to the next one? We'll move on to the next one. Oh no, what's that?
No, I
thought you'd put your hand up.
No, I was doing a loop-de-loop.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Can I go to the toilets, please, sir?
Back in the tape, mister. See ya.
Right. Well, in excess and Jimmy Barnes come back again. This time, laying down the law. A bit of saxophone in this one. So who likes a bit of sax?
Oh yeah, all the way.
All the way. Go on then, go on.
I mean, one of the things I love about it is he always had a lot of songs that had saxophone, and one of the things that annoy me is a lot of people somehow associate, like if you hear a saxophone in music, it's very 80s. It's not out of date. It's still prominent today. There's loads of people I know who love hearing sax, and there's still some music today where you hear sax, and it's one of my favorite instruments. Electric guitar and saxophone. Those are the two instruments that just really bring it out in me. And this one's no exception. It's just such a fast pounding beat. And for some reason, it always reminds me of New York City. I think it's because of the way it sounds like a nighttime city and stuff. And there was a time I went to New York years ago, and I think I did hear this in a bar. And it does remind me of that nightlife coming alive. And it's just got such a beautiful saxophone stuff. So you can imagine like people coming out at night, the animals are ready to play, and let's lay down the law. But yeah, it's a very good, every song of this, there's loads of songs of this have saxophone, but yeah, this one's just got a really sexy, beautiful saxophone moments in it. So yeah, great track. And probably one of my top favorites in this one. I mean, there's that many awesome, the whole soundtrack's awesome, but probably one of my top favorites in this one. One that just really made me go, oh yeah, here we go.
Let's kick it in.
Yeah, let's kick it in.
Anyway, let's go over to the other two. Who wants to go? Susan or Craig?
I'll go. Yeah, I like this song as well, and I like the bit where I can't remember the words, but there's a bit where it all comes together, and it's like,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great bit. That's one of my favorite bits as well.
That's my favorite bit. And with a link to Doctor Who, my stepdad knows this man called Courtney Pine.
Oh yeah.
Silver Nemesis.
Yeah.
So yeah, my stepdad Louis is a big jazz fan.
Nice.
Over to Susan.
And I like it. It was it's In Excess just makes this if there was like a central stake, a central turning point of this the soundtrack In Excess is that central turning point of this soundtrack. Because they were on the way up, they were just in their ascendant. They were really like building into like the kind of 80s amazing band that they really became. In Excess, being from Australia and stuff, they hadn't quite, by about 89, they were in their absolute heyday. And so this was just a really cool, they were really like the central point, as the vinyl album spins around, they're the hub in the middle, in my humble opinion.
Seasons, can everyone just check their albums for me, right?
Yeah.
Does it end with Beauty Has Her Way? Because that's what my one ends with.
No.
No.
My one ended with To the Shock of Miss Louise. Louise.
Oh, like the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there must be another soundtrack, because there's an extended soundtrack which has
There is 4 songs missing off this soundtrack. What was in the movie?
Yeah, I've just realised.
I've written them down. I've written down which songs are missing.
Okay.
So which songs are missing?
You've got Groovin'
Wait.
by the Young Rascals. That's
Oh
not
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Walk This Way, Run DMC. That's missing.
Great song.
Crazy Old Soldier by Troy Seals is missing.
That's me.
Oh wow.
And Ain't Got No Home by Clarence Frogman Henry is missing. That's the one where he's in the bath. He's in the bath scene.
Yeah.
If you vamp out, I will seriously.
But I don't. You say there must be an. I've always wondered if there is an extended CD release or album release with those 4 songs on it. Maybe it's copyright reasons. I don't know.
Maybe it popped up in recent years, but yeah, the CD we've all got on vinyl. It just ends with The Shock of Miss Louise.
Yeah.
For some reason, that's the amount of songs. It was like 10. So
10,
Well, it used to be 22 minutes per side for a vinyl album, so 10 was about 22 minutes a side.
It's a short album as well. I wish it was longer.
yeah,
It's quite a short album.
Yep.
But things were shorter back then. Even the movies were an hour and a half, Now they're 3.5 hours long. And I get a neck ache.
some people say that's too long for a movie.
It is too long. Too long. Avengers, I nearly died. I thought I was having a stroke in the chair.
You're lucky.
Changing position.
You're lucky. I needed the toilet. I thought I was ready. I thought I was going to burst.
But before we move on from laying down the law, I've got to say, Michael Hutchins, one iconic rock star, and you can actually visualize him as one of the characters in this movie. He just had it all.
Yeah,
He did. You think of the vampires in this movie, the way they dressed, they acted. Michael Hutchins, he was doing that back then.
yeah.
Not vampirism, but he was. I mean.
Yeah, he did.
No, otherwise he'd still be with us. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the one from Bill and Ted. Every time I watch Bill and Ted, I just keep thinking I'm watching one of the vampires from Lost Boys go do some time travel.
Alex Winter is really, really cool.
I've just saw blood. Excellent.
Far out.
Now we come to the first single released off this album.
Dude.
It was released as a single in 1988, after the movie. I just don't get it.
Which one's that?
Echo and the Bunnymen, People Are Strange. It was released.
Yeah, I heard that in the pound shop the other day, and I said,
Yeah.
Lost Boys. And everyone looked at me bemused.
The single was released twice in the UK. Back in '88, got to number 29, and in '91, again, it got to 34. I don't know how they must have been releasing special editions and stuff, but
Yeah.
so, and this is a cover version of the old Doors song.
Oh
and
yeah.
Me personally, they haven't added anything to it. They've just taken it, done their, they've sung it, and to me, their vocals are just exactly like Jim Morrison's.
Yeah.
There's nothing changed in the song. It's just an exact copy. But I tell you something, it works.
Oh yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I think that's because Ray Manzarek, he produced it. He actually like put the track down for Echo and the Bunnymen. Dear Mr. Echo.
Well, yeah, I was noticing that nearly every track on the album is produced or mixed by someone different.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ray Manzarek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was the keyboardist, wasn't he? The Doors.
For the Doors.
Yeah.
Mm.
I put it on full blast just to piss the neighbours off.
Doom, doom, doom.
I feel their pain living downstairs.
What's your take on People Are Strange?
I tell you the truth. You walk around this city, and that's the truth.
People are strange. They come out of the rain.
Well, the panning shot at the beginning of the movie when they play People Are Strange, and it's like a reflection of society at that time in '87.
Oh yeah.
It's like an art piece.
Yeah. It's.
So
I mean,
really
people are still strange today, but you just play it. It really does reflect society and the times and the way things are. And again, it fits the movie perfectly.
As we keep repeating ourselves here, that every song just fits the movie.
It does. Yeah.
It's a really well picked soundtrack. Whoever came up with it and said, right, we're going to get these artists to record these songs, we'll put it all together for this movie. It
could have been a disaster. Like it could have been,
whoever
really heavy metal.
Yeah.
Like it would have just been very shouty, noisy. Like I can't think of any films that have done that, but
Dracula 3000.
there you go.
But
I love vampire movies, by the way, and this one is so good. These three movies, the Lost Boys movies, are good.
Mhm.
They're good vampire flicks.
And then we're getting the Lost Boys TV series as well coming soon.
But like Lee said, they didn't change anything with this. It is just they do their own thing. It's a brilliant cover. I mean, I love the song because this is one of those songs. There's 4 songs in this. Lost in the Shadows, this one, and trying to think, this one and the next one we're going to say, that always stand out. And you just instantly, as Craig said, you just do Lost Boys. You hear that, Lost Boys. But this one just does have such a great sort of punk, post-punk, alternative style to it. And it does sound like the 70s, which is something I really love, that whole vibe and feel to it. Like sort of a punkish 70s style. But no, it's a great cover and it fits it perfectly. It's just such a great tune you can always listen to and never get tired of.
Oh, remembers your name.
Yep.
And I used to really, really love the Doors version of this, actually. Personally, I used to, worship at the feet of Jim Morrison. When I was in uni, I had a book of poetry penned by him, and I had the video of the Doors, and I had his concert footage from about 68 and 69, and he was phenomenal. Anyway, that's my opinion. There you go.
Right.
Old hippie here.
No, but Susan's the oldest one in the cast.
Ooh.
Just. Right, we're going to move on to, I think everybody knows this one. Cry Little Sister, the theme from the Lost Boys, by Gerard McCann.
Do you want to know something really random?
Go on.
Go on.
I watched this film so much that my mum has it as a ringtone when I ring her on her mobile.
Well, this theme, the Cry Little Sister one.
Yeah, that's how. Yes.
That is random.
Pretty cool.
I also like
Revelatory, dude.
there is a dance remix that's pretty good as well. If
Yeah, I
you check
think
that out on YouTube. But the original's the best though.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like the start of the goth.
And I always think of my own sister when I listen to the song, so maybe my mum thinks of her brother and her sisters.
Oh.
Maybe it's a universal song and that's why it unites people. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you what I like about this song is it's the way the way it's played, the way it plays all the way through, but it's the music. So you get the feel of flying,
Yeah.
wings. It's I don't know if the music makes you think
And
of
the
wings.
crack
Yeah,
comes in.
yeah. It's like you fly. It's you're up in the air.
Then it does the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then it flows in as well.
But I always remember this song. I always thought it was longer. This song. I thought it was a good 6 minutes, but it's only just over 4 minutes. So memory plays.
Maybe there's an extended version or something. But
No, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always listened to this
Didn't
song.
it was #1 in Australia, weren't it?
I don't know. To be honest,
1987.
most probably was. Yeah.
I think it was. I could be wrong. Comment below if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And I love the choir. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Vocals. I mean the young people's voices and that was so freaking sweet, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
The children's voices, or it comes across as children's voices, isn't it?
Michael Manieri wrote this song,
Yeah.
and Gerard McMahon.
McCann, who sings it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, like you said, that's I got the same feeling. We're just at boom, boom. You're like wings going boom, boom.
You're in the air, just flying. Boom,
Yeah,
boom.
you're slowly turning into a bat or something, watching over everybody. But no matter if you're from the 80s or love 80s or know the Lost Boys, the first thing you think of is this song. It's great. It's a brilliant, awesome.
I stand corrected because it was Good Times that was #1 in Australia. Sorry,
Don't do it again.
1987.
It's all right. This was #1 in the goth clubs in Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington in 1992 when I was living on the West Coast the first time.
Was that with all the dark eyeliner and
Yes.
black nails?
I am so depressed. I am so cool. I won't even talk to you, but let's dance together.
Yes, that's. All right. Any more on Cry Little Sister, or should we move on to the next one?
It was re-released in 2000,
Yeah.
so it could have been when DVDs started to come out. So maybe then it
Yeah.
got then or something. I don't know, but.
Now the next song. I didn't realise this. I'm just looking at the credits on this next one. The song "Power Play" by Eddie and the Tard, but produced and written by B.A. Robertson. Now,
and written by Culture Club's Phil Pickett. Come on.
Phil Pickett. I was just going to say, but but B.A. Robertson was big back in the late 70s, early 80s. Scottish singer. And he had quite a few hits in the UK with B.A. Robertson. Bang Bang and Cool in the Caftan. So I often wondered what happened to B.A. Robertson. There you are. But yeah, Power Play, Eddie and the Tide. Who wants to have a go on this one?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think because you've had the slow Cry Little Sister, this one sort of picks up the speed, don't it? So gives it that good slow, but then fast. But this is a real good.
You know what this one reminds me of? I mean, I know it's the Lost Boys, but this one, if I play this on its own, I don't know why, I imagine Miami Vice.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, you're not the only one. That's what I thought. That's what I thought when I was listening. I thought, sounds like Miami Vice.
It's got that feel to it.
Yeah, sunset on the beach, the palm trees,
Yeah.
women driving in the car, Tubbs and Crockett. Vroom. But yeah, no, it's a good. Yeah, this is a very good song, and again, more saxophone moments in this, which are just really great.
Yeah, I thought you were going to mention that.
I love my saxophone. I love saxophone music. But yeah, was this Tim Capello? I can't remember, or is this someone else who does the saxophone?
No, I think Tim Capello's only on one track on the album.
Part of the band The Tide.
All right. But no, it was just because it sounded similar, but maybe it was just me. But no, it's a very good song. Yeah, I like it a lot.
So Phil Pickett is one of the writing credits on Karma Chameleon.
Oh, God, we're not going to hear the end of this.
Yeah, I know, and it's a miracle. And maybe even I'll tumble for you, but I'm not 100% sure.
We'll just sit back while she goes on about Culture Club. She just loves Culture Club.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
Are you looking forward to the movie, Susan?
Oh yes.
Power play, anyone? Or we're moving on to the next one? We'll move on to the next one then. Silence says it all. Right, this one performed by Tim Capello. And he's still on the go, guys. Tim Capello, the muscle-bound saxophone player, is still on the go because just recently he's appeared on the album by Gunship. Check it out, Craig, if you're into your 80s retro.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah, I still believe this one, a cover version of the Call song. So, which is another
It's one of them songs. It's one of them songs where when I've finished listening to it, I'm still. It could be Mild Tourette's, but I do end up shouting out, "I still believe" at the cat.
Hey,
Why not? Yeah, no, this is a great. Yeah, I love this one, but for many reasons, which have already been said. But as Lee said, and that's what I was going to say about this soundtrack. I think because it was thanks to Lee that introduced me to Gunship, and I've listened to both their albums. And if you listen to Gunship, they really do sound. There's a lot of songs in this. They just are exact. You could put them together, and you'd think it was the whole movie soundtrack.
Oh.
It just has that. If you listen to them, you need to check them out, Craig, because a lot of the sounds.
Send me some links for that.
A lot of the sounds are exactly like that's one of the inspirations from the Lost Boys. It sounds so 80s.
Well, yeah, one of the songs off the album, they've got a video for it. They do use the Lost Boys. It's an animated video with the Lost Boys.
Yeah, it's done like a Japanese anime and stuff.
Yeah, they've got characters. They've got characters in there from Dusk Till Dawn and Blades in the video, but Tim Capello's animated in it as well because he's
and there's a Ryu from Street Fighter, and then it slowly turns into live action. So you've got the real. It's like the live action become live action. So you've got the singer, you've got Ryu playing on the keyboard, and you've got the actual Tim Capello playing on the saxophone while it's raining blood. And it's
cool.
Brilliant. It is a brilliant album.
So
Brilliant.
it's a vampire thing.
Oh no, just like a mixture of 80s,
80s retro
stuff. Sort of like 80s, early 90s stuff.
Okay. Well, Tim Capello was with the Queen of the 70s, Tina Turner, for pretty much all of her 80s and 90s and 2000 tours. Tim Capello's been her stage saxophone player, and I don't know if that ended in 2000 or whatever, But when I saw her in like 2001 or 2002 on the on a video, he was still playing with her. So it's just he's a phenomenal saxophone player and a really good singer, and he just blows the top off, so to speak.
They're the Gunship albums. Look at that 80s retro there.
Cool.
But they say, just if you're into your 80s synth retro stuff, check them out. I mean, they're modern, aren't they? This is about 2 years old, and that's about 3 years old. But check them out. So that was "I Still Believe" then. Brilliant song. You say that's one of the songs. For me personally, you "Cry Little Sister" and this song as well. I always think of.
Yeah, you just picture Tim Capello in a film playing the saxophone.
Yeah, it's so iconic that just that scene. I mean, he's not in it.
Just that scene. You just see this big guy who looks like a wrestler playing the saxophone.
When I first saw that movie way back when, I'm thinking, is he really playing it? And he is. He's playing it.
and he's so sexy when he's doing it.
He's thrusting it.
It's maybe you're sexy, Susan, but sexy is somewhat differently for me. Anyway. Where are we now? Oh, right. "Beauty Has Her Way," performed by Mummy Calls.
I was always under the false impression that this was a David Bowie song.
No, it's their own song.
Actually, you're not wrong there, Craig. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, he does have a very David Bowie at the start. I did think he sounds like David Bowie.
Yeah.
And but of course you go, oh, it's still, it's not him. It's Mama Calls, but he sounds like it. It does have a David Bowie feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think
this was released as a single back in '87, but didn't do anything. And it was.
And the Mummy Calls were from the UK. They were from a city called Leamington Spa.
Yep.
And they were, it was David Banks and I don't know anybody else, but David Banks I knew.
Yeah. Yeah, they had one record contract, but they sort of fell out with the record company and they split up in about 87, 88. Didn't see any of the thing, but their only claim to fame is that they've got cult status because of this song on the soundtrack.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful.
There is a video for this song. It's up on YouTube. There is a video. You can see the group in the video.
Yeah, I remember the video, but I know we've got one more little small tune after this, but this sort of ends it perfectly, don't it? It just wraps it up. It's just a beautiful slow tune, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It finishes the movie and the movie soundtrack perfectly.
I can't remember in the film if it was for when the two lovers came together or whether it was to do with the mum being a single mother. I can't remember. I actually know when the two lovers came together, it was "Cry Little Sister," wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
probably to do with the mum in the single housewife, and yeah. I think
it is a good song, and it has got the 80s vibe, and I do agree with you. There is a bit of Bowie influence on it, vocal-wise. Yeah, very good. Anything else on that one? No. Right. Thomas Newman, who's the last track on here, "To the Shock of Miss Louise," a 1 minute 21 second instrumental. What do we make of this?
I don't know if this is just me, and because I've been in a real Batman and Joker mood recently, but when I heard this, I just thought of the Joker from an episode of Batman the Animated Series, like, "Welcome, Batsy. You're gonna die, baby." That's what I imagine. I'm just imagining Batman walking through like, Where are you, Joker? Over here.
You never know, right, mate?
Yeah, that's it. But it's maybe because I've been in a real joke because of the new Joker film, and I've been reading a lot of Batman comics again, and just really full on DC mode. I thought it was Batman and Joker. That's what it reminded me of. But no, it fits with the whole. As Craig said, a lot of the movie revolves around
The film, it
the
could have
fairgrounds,
been like
don't
it could have been written as a graphic novel before, couldn't it? Like the way to the whole movie with the Frog Brothers, and then in the comic store, like
Yeah.
it's like a perfect. The ingredients pot was being mixed, and it was, you know.
And the
Well,
main,
it also harkens to another part of the country that is full of vampires. I mean, it's got that New Orleans, gypsy, Zydeco, Calliope sort of thing happening, and you know that in the United States, the other huge vampire lore is surrounding New Orleans and the South, and so this really. It really like helps connect all of the different parts of vampire thing in the United States anyway, and that to me is it's really significant because there was so much vampire stuff. Anne Rice wrote that huge vampire chronicles, and that was made into movies and stuff, and Lestat was supposedly a rock star like Tim Capello, that kind of thing. He was anyway, fantastic connection to everything else vampire in the lore in the United States in this song.
And Sasquatch comes from New Jersey, right?
What?
The werewolves that live in New Jersey.
I should
That
know.
that was in X-Files, and they all
Yes.
came from New
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Had to try and remember that one, but yeah, it definitely is.
But not proven as yet. Maybe.
And the fact that it was so gypsy also here, let me connect it even further back. The gypsy the whole thing with like, you know how Vlad Tepes was so loved by the gypsies, and how the Romanian and then the Bram Stoker wrote about the gypsies helping Dracula out. Oh my gosh! So I got to mention everybody.
And in Howling the Freaks, it's all set at the circus, and the vampire is the ringmaster, and he lives in the porter cabin underneath the seat.
Yeah, that's right. God, those were good films as well, The Howling.
No, I've spoilt the ending for everyone.
I won't watch it.
I've already seen many of them.
So, we've gone through the 10 tracks of the album. So, what did we really think about the album? Shall we rate it and have our final says? I like to do it on albums. I like to do it. There's so many tracks. So we go out with how many tracks. So there's 10 tracks, so it's going to be out of 10. If it was 7 tracks, it'd be out of 7. It's just the way I'm, because I'm weird like that.
So am I.
So we will go to Susan. What's your final say and your score for this?
Well, I won't rate it by tracks. I'll rate it by comic books from the comic book store that the Frog Brothers run. Okay, and so I'll give it a 10 comic books from the Frog Brothers out of 10.
There you go. You can't argue with that, can you? Ethan.
Yeah, it's going to be a 10 out of 10. It's going to be a 10 out of 10 for me. Even just that little track at the end, the little funfair. It's just the Joker in me for that one. I know it fits with the vampires, but I just picture Batman and Joker fighting on a roller coaster.
It's the carnival sound, isn't it? That's what it is.
The Killing Joke or something.
Yeah,
No, it's a 10 it's definitely a 10 out of 10. It's one of the greatest movie soundtracks of all time. You can't go wrong with it.
Right, we'll go to Craig now, the silver fox of this cast.
I'm gonna give it 10 2 Corys out of 10 for being it's just a really good album, and it doesn't even matter what season you listen to it in. It's a really good album to listen to.
It is. It brings, and it also, as soon as you hear the songs, it brings back memories of the movie. So it's done its job. So for me, it's getting 10 bloodsuckers out of 10.
I knew you couldn't hold on to that tracks thing.
Well, it's 10 tracks out of 10. There's no bad tracks. Anybody else want to say anything, final thing about this album before we shut this one? No?
No?
Right.
Good.
Right there.
Beauty has her way.
Power play.
Hello?
Copyright strike.
I've got one
Nobody's
thing.
gonna
to say.
copyright strike my singing. You're kidding me.
I've got one thing to
Yeah.
say. No.
What was that, Craig?
There's one thing I can't stand about Santa Carla that I can't stomach. All the goddamn vampires.
Vampires. Drinks it. Yeah.
He's a legend. Forgot about Grandpa.
That one and Corey Feldman. How much do you think we should charge them for this? They're covered in blood, aren't they, and gore, and they're like, how much do you think we should charge them for this?
Death by stereo.
Those two iconic moments at the end are great.
Oh, dear. Do you know, I might go and watch the movie sometime at the weekend.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I know we've reviewed it. Yeah, guys. Anyway, well, thanks for you guys joining. This was Craig's suggestion. Out of the blue, he just said, can we do Lost Boys soundtrack?
That guy.
I
Great
said,
choice.
Never heard of it. Never heard
And
of
you
it.
I said. So the check's in the post, isn't it, Craig? So
Well, before you go, Lee, I can see there's a lot of David Bowie things on your wall, but you don't seem to have any of my David Bowie artworks. I'll send you the link to my website later.
Oh, he's trying to get money out of me. That's what it is. There, you haven't sent me any. What are you on about?
Craig, you know that as an artist, you in order to really make it, you have to die first.
See any of them, but you never
No,
saw me done.
no.
Well, in a minute. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Oh, God.
I'll be like Tolkien.
Yeah, know what I'm saying? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Anyway, before we even go,
Ethan. Oh, Ethan.
before we
Never
go
know what
into
Santa might drop through
further
your
matter-
chimney that day.
further matter, we're going to end this now. We're going to say thanks for Craig for suggesting this and actually coming back to the cast. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be a one-off or he may pop up again in a month or two's time. We don't know. It's depending on his rotor at work. But I'm the same with Ethan as well. But I thank Ethan, Craig, Susan. Thanks for joining me. So it's always fun. We have a laugh. You guys out there, if you liked this, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the soundtrack. If you want to join in, just leave us a message because we need a bit of some fresh faces. So, what else can I say? Until next time, keep smiling.